Yeah. Some backpack raps. Turn it up. Hey yo, life's a bitch and then you die, yeah we knew that, but screw that. I'll toast to the future, not where the crew at. It's FTB until I'm 6 feet deep. Yeah, we done started a movement, a leader, never been a sheep. So I don't follow the crowd, I'm trying to make my own lane. Lost a lot in this life, but I still got more to gain. Never take for granted the fans who've been waiting for the day I blow like Nagasaki on everyone, ignoring the name. Verses pour from my mind like that Kentucky bourbon. But I was born in the shy, my mentality's urban. Never was sure about my purpose, but I know one thing's for certain. I came here to fuck up the game till I'm wanted for murder. Gotta be honest though, I know I got talent and I'm driven to make my vision come to fruition. No indecision, achieved a lot in life that some said I wouldn't. So what's the difference when it comes to this rap shit they saying I couldn't? Bound to fail, I ask them why. Cause I'm white in my 30s, I got a family and work a normal fucking job. You must be kidding, man, that fuels the fire. And I'm prepared as I get bigger for haters to put me through the wire. But I won't let it bring me down, I got that tunnel vision. Like a horse in a derby, I'm just focused on winning. Passing up my peers, no wonder why I'm always grinning. But when it comes to my enemies, my trigger finger itching. Don't like the negativity, I'm only moving up. So if you ain't with me on the grind, then how can you say I don't do enough? Soon enough, they all go see I proved enough and rock with it. All from the bottom, there ain't no stopping it. Music's my passion and I made a promise to always crush whatever the fuck was in front of me. So let's be honest, do I? Hell yeah, they know the flow dumb. And one thing's for certain, if you don't chase your dream, it won't come. But you can't ever chase your dream if you don't run. So I'm gunning for the tip top, homie, and then some. Make it a habit of smashing raps in my backpack like snack packs. I got my cat backwards, listening to Mac Miller. Got some Nikes on my feet, running them laps around my peers, but they too proud and cocky to admit defeat. But I ain't taking prisoners, they on my plate. It's time to eat, it's time to show them what I'm about. Cause then they'll want a fucking feature, what a piece. That's cool though, I really can't blame them. They'd rather do a track with your boy, cause they won't be getting nowhere if they hate them. But in the end, I love this hip hop shit. So I'm gone, got a plane to catch. Kick rocks, bitch.
Welcome to Homefront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find Homefront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Homefront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Welcome, everybody, to a Sunday edition of Homefront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Miss Candace, how are you, my dear?
I'm exhausted.
You and me both.
I know. It's been a crazy, I want to say week, last couple of weeks. Like, it's been rough.
Yeah, it's definitely been rough. Your dad wound up going missing for 12 plus hours and
24
hours. Yeah. So 24 hours for you. But I think 12 something hours. And then they took him to the hospital. So luckily he was found. Hopefully he's on a good recovery road.
Well, he's about to be in trouble because he just got home yesterday.
He's a veteran. He's stubborn. He don't want to listen.
Look, I know where I got my stubbornness from. I know full and well 100% that came from my daddy. But like, get him home. He needs to be on oxygen. Like, he fought him to let him go home, and for some reason they did. They wanted to keep him for a few more days, and now he's struggling because he's sitting there trying to do stuff around the house because he hasn't been home in a week. And I'm like,
Yeah, hey, you see what Craig
I'm thinking
Murphy
about
just
it,
said.
Craig. I am thinking about it. And then on his way home from the hospital, he broke down and had to sit on the side of the highway yesterday in that 90-degree weather for almost 3 hours.
Oh man.
Like it doesn't stop.
Mm.
Yeah, Daddy, you're watching. You're in trouble right now.
Yeah, Marcus, you're in trouble, sir. You're in trouble. But no, yeah, it's been hell of a hell of a week for me.
Yeah,
So
sure.
on Friday at 12:53, I got the call that my stepdad had passed away. At 3 o'clock, I got the call that my company was going on strike. So right now we're in a ULP strike with my company. So I'm gonna keep that kind of off to the kilter because of legal reasons and stuff like that. But we are currently right now on a ULP strike, and so we've been manning the picket line. I've been there every day except for 2 days. Yeah, 2 days every day. So last Friday, we went at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We went on strike. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I was in court, which we'll go into that here in just a minute.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I was at the picket line. After I got done with the picket line, went to the visitation for my stepdad. Thursday, we put him in the mausoleum at 10 a.m. When I was done with that, I went back to the picket line, and I was there for quite a while. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I was at the picket line, and then today we had the day off, and tomorrow we regroup and we go back. It's just been a crazy week. And then on Tuesday, I had a federal court case, so I had to drive to Frankfurt. The wife and I had to drive to Frankfurt, and unfortunately, I had a federal subpoena that said I had to appear in court to testify for the prosecutors against a veteran. And it's something that I never thought I would ever have to do. But unfortunately, said veteran had been lying to the VA since 2011. So he went from 70% to 100% with the IU program. And he told a bunch of lies. And then he created a nonprofit and was all over the TV interviews and all kinds of other stuff. So the wife and I had to go testify. They had 22 people that were going to testify. I think they wound up using maybe 10 of us to testify. And on Friday, he was found guilty. Sentencing's in December. Or sometime around there, but they said that sentencing could change change. He didn't know how much it would change, but it could change. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to a CMP exam and you're dealing with the VA and you're trying to get your disability, don't lie to them and then go out and be on TV interviews and do all this other crazy stuff, especially if you say, oh, I can't leave my house, I can't get myself dressed, I can't get bathed by myself, but yet you're on TV interviews every other day, or you're at 3 or 4 events and you're in all the pictures and all the videos, because they will catch you. So when you're dealing with the VA, you got to make sure you're 100% legit to cover yourself and your family that you support. So
yeah, it's sad. Like, regardless of what happened and the things that he did, there's not only immediate family, but there's a lot of people that were involved in that number that are being affected by that, and it's hard because there's people there that are doing good things, but it's a domino effect, and it affects a lot of people. You were included in that, and you and your wife and your family.
Yeah, I mean, when I joined the organization, we get sucked in really, really hard and fast into the organization, and not just me. I mean, my wife, my 2 daughters, my sister-in-law who just joined, Miss Stephanie Schilling, she got sucked in too as well into the fold of things, and it was a family affair. And some of us, or some people said, "Oh, well, he's," they had that feeling that he was shady, but I didn't at the time, because my main focus was helping veterans. That's what I did. That's what I wanted to do. And needless to say, it's been very emotionally draining
Absolutely.
this last week, and I'm definitely struggling with my decisions on if to testify, even though I had a federal subpoena. I'm still struggling. It's just one of those things. But you know, tonight is my therapy. I'm on the show, and this is going to help me out. I'm glad to be back for another episode, and all of you out there in Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you're watching it. Thank you guys for coming on. Tonight we have a special guest. He is an Army veteran who served on active duty for 28 years. 28 years on active duty. He graduated from the United States Military Academy and later worked on the Department of the Army team that developed the Army Interpreter Translator program. He is a graduate of the Deliberate Discomfort Challenge and is a member of the Endless Six. In his free time, he enjoys reading history and fiction novels, visiting battlefields, playing the saxophone, which is super cool. And he currently lives in Martinsburg, West Virginia, with his wife and 4 dogs. And he's also the author of this book right here, of Vital Interests. So this book follows, I think, two to 4 soldiers. I think he said it was fact-based fiction. So if you read it, if you go out and buy this book, you can buy it on Amazon. It is an award-winning book as well. It's a fact-based fiction. So he didn't really have to send it to the 4-letter alphabets and the DOD and everywhere else, or I said 4-letter, but 3-letter alphabet name organizations, to get it cleared hot to be released. Just got it in the mail not too long ago, so I haven't had the chance to read it. I've glimpsed over it. I can't wait to get down and sit down and read it. So, but well, without further ado, let's bring Mr. Frank up on the stage.
Yay, he's such a cool dude.
Let's get him over here. Welcome, Mr. Frank. How are you, sir?
Hey, folks, how you doing?
We are doing wonderful. Thank you for coming on and hanging out here with us on this beautiful Sunday.
Oh, happy to do it. Thanks for the invite.
Well, you are very welcome. Now, do me a favor. I know I kind of gave a rundown about your history and stuff, but can you do a little bit of more detail? And then before you do that, Sam Deeds asked, is your book on Audible yet? Is it on Audible Books yet?
It's not. This first book is not on Audible because I published it through a publishing house that's a hybrid company, and to do Audible would have been thousands of dollars extra, and it cost me so much to start with that I just couldn't afford to do it. We got better things coming in the future with the follow-on books.
Well, I might know somebody that can help you get this on Audible. If you look down here at the below, it says Heroes Media Group there. Mr. Adam Bird with Heroes Media Group, that's what he does, is he helps veterans get their books from print to audio books. So I can get you connected with Adam Bird with Heroes Media Group, and we see about getting this on Audible book, because Sam Deeds, he likes to travel with his job that he does, and they get to go all over the place. So he likes the Audible book so he can listen to it as he's traveling. So
yeah, I've had a lot of people ask the same question.
So let's give us a little bit of your background. I know I've talked about your military background and stuff like that, but give whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I joined the Army right out of high school, And that was a different story all to itself. But I enlisted and was picked up to go to the academy out of the enlisted ranks. So I didn't even think that program existed. I knew nothing about it. So I was just planning on going in for 4 years, saving enough money for college, and then getting out and continuing my life. But when I got the chance to go to the military academy, it changed everything. I mean, going there is probably the best thing that ever happened to me. My life changed 180 degrees. I mean, I was going in the opposite direction. And I owe a lot of things to the academy. So you always see me wearing a hat or a shirt or something to support it. I spent, like I said, 28 years total on active duty. 26 and a half of it was straight. And then I retired the first time. And then that was in 2007. And in 2010, I got recalled to active duty for 2.5 years working in the Pentagon. I was in charge of oversight of all the Army's language and culture programs. So I did that for 2.5 years, and I went back to being a civilian contractor again and spent another 5 or 6 years in the Pentagon. And I decided that it was time to stop doing that in 2022 was my last work day.
So how has the last 2 years been for you?
Again?
How has the last 2 years been for you?
Well, it started out kind of off, honestly. For the first 2 months, I did all the honeydew list stuff. And then I fell into the trap that a lot of us veterans fall into. One day I sat down and I turned the TV on and I turned the computer on and started surfing the web and watching TV. And then I did it for another day, and another day turned into a week, and then a week turned into a month. And I was in a terrible position. It was the darkest place I've ever been in my life. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And one of my classmates posted something on LinkedIn, and all it said was Deliberate Discomfort Challenge. And so I clicked on it, and there was a sign-up sheet. So I signed up. I didn't have any idea what it was. But I figured, he sent it to me, and he's a good friend and classmate. And then the next day after I signed up, I decided, well, I better read this because it starts in 2 days. So I read it, and it's like, holy cow, what did I do? It was 60 days straight. First of all, it's run by a bunch of retired special forces folks. So it was 60 days straight, no breaks. You were working out in the gym and running every day, or doing ruck walks or other things for aerobic fitness. And then on top of that, you were writing in a journal every day of what you were grateful for, and you did meditation every day. And then you read a book every week from cover to cover. And on top of that, you had to call one person a day and have a meaningful conversation with them. And if you didn't complete all 6 of those things, no matter what day, you could have been in day 58, you went back to the beginning.
Oh.
Wow.
And there was a lot of people. There's a guy in my group that was in day 53 and he had to start all over again.
Oh man.
So he started with us, and it was a bear, man. But I lost over 20 pounds. I got back in the gym and started working out and felt a lot better. And the best thing was the meditation. So I developed a focus, or I regained my focus. And when I got done with the challenge, I sat down and I said, I got to do something with this. So I sat down and I started writing my book. And 90 days later, it was done. So I wrote 1,000 to 1,500 words a day. I developed a really good outline before I started, and I followed the outline, and it really is easy. It's not hard.
Right.
The hardest part is after you write your book,
getting
the marketing and the advertising and getting people to know that it's out there. I mean, even winning a stinking award doesn't get you anywhere unless you got some way, you got some juice that you can put in and get it moving. But we won the best military book in 2023. The award was given by the International Impact Book Awards. And my wife and I had to go out to Phoenix and do a black tie dinner and receive the award. And I don't normally wear black tie.
Me neither. Me neither. So,
But
what did your wife think of the experience of going out to Phoenix and you winning the award and stuff?
oh, she was amazed the whole weekend. It's like a lot of people that know me say, "What? You wrote a book?" I said, "Oh yeah, it's right here."
Oh man, that's awesome.
But writing has been something I've always enjoyed. I wrote 2 books before publishing this one. The problem was they were factual books, and like you said in the beginning, those have to be approved, and neither one of those will probably ever see the light of day unless I turn around and make them fact-based fiction.
Right.
And, you know, one of these days it might happen, but the odds aren't good.
Yeah, we talked about that during the meet and greet, that you'd have to go back in and change a lot of things, and because you don't want certain organizations to come knocking on your door, which is always the case when you have somebody who's in the military that wrote a book about their service, and depending on what they put into the book, you know, that's what can get you in a heap of trouble with the alphabet soup. So,
and neither one of those books would be worth a darn if I couldn't put that in. So it would just be really dull and boring. And
but you could always make like military records, and you could just black out parts and call it a mystery novel.
Yeah.
Redacted.
People intrigued and be like, no, I have to know what that black mark is.
Well, it'll be a mystery from now until the day I pass, because nobody will ever see it.
So you still have the books, and I'm assuming they're in script form, because that's how.
Yeah, I have the manuscripts on both of them. But
so what happens? What happens whenever you do pass away 10, 20, 30 years down the road, and you still have those books in a safe or wherever you have them, and somebody finds them and says, "Hey, I want to publish these books." What happens then?
Well, it's hard to convict someone who's not alive.
So true. So true.
And if somebody else publishes it, is it considered the same type?
What I'll probably end up doing is donating the manuscripts to some organization and let them deal with it if they choose to.
Well, we have a great organization here called Homefront Sitrep, if you would like to take that into consideration.
Well, I kind of know some people in the higher ups, but I don't want to get them in
They're
trouble
not as
either.
cool as us. Just because they're in the higher ups doesn't make them as cool as us.
I don't think so. I don't. Yeah.
He knows who. Willis knows what I'm talking about.
I know what he's saying. I'm still saying they're not as cool as us.
Yeah,
Candace,
I know.
We're the higher ups that he's talking about.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't. Yep. I've been hanging around too many Marines. I
love Marines.
I'm a Marine, and I caught that.
Marines are my second favorite branch of the service.
Second favorite.
The Army's got to be the favorite. Come on now.
So true.
I support the home team.
I'll give you that. You got to support the home team. You got to definitely.
The Marines ought to be their own branch in my mind, but
hey, we are.
I was going to say I thought they were.
No, you're not.
No, we're not. We're not. We're technically the Department of the Navy, the men's department, but we are still
like I always used to say decades ago. You can't say it anymore, but decades ago I used to say that the Marines were the men's department of the Navy.
We are the men's department of the Navy for sure.
Look, we're all going to make fun of Candace tonight.
Well, that's
Frank.
funny.
Get them, Frank. They're making fun of me.
They'd never do that.
Yeah, it's in black and white right there.
So, in your 28 years of military service on active duty, name some of the places that you deployed to, and then some of your favorite places that you went.
Well, I was in Panama, Honduras, Morocco, Germany, Kosovo, Egypt, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
And the honesty of it is, I've never set foot in Afghanistan or Iraq.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
people ask me, well, how can you write a book? And I said, well, it's easy. I was the only military person in that program that set up that interpreter translator program. And so all the communications overseas I had.
Okay.
And I'd read reports all the time about what the soldiers that we had put through the program were doing. So writing the book was easy. I was there through them. And the one thing I did in the book was I didn't label any of the cities or villages that they were acting in. And I did that on purpose, because once again, I didn't want to tie it to anything on the ground that was actually happening factually.
Now, is that in a vital interest? Is that
Yes.
in this? Okay.
And it's in the second book too, but
right.
The third book will be different.
Can you give like a little synopsis of what somebody's going to find in this book?
The first book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wrote it so that it would be readable by anybody. So you don't have to have been in the military at all, and you can follow this book. I stay away from acronyms on purpose. I use a couple like RPG, but I think everybody almost knows what an RPG is now. And the first time I wrote it, I said rocket propelled grenade. So everybody knows what an AK-47 and a AR or M1 or whatever M4 carbine is. But everything else is just regular writing. What I did in the book was walk people through the deployment process so they can understand a little bit of what the soldiers go through when they actually go overseas. And I did the same thing on the other end when they're in country. What people don't understand is a real action book based on military deployment is not always just combat. Combat ends up being a very small percent of what happens, and what you do in the rest of the time is just as important. And I try to put that in the book and have people see what happens through my eyes and through the eyes of the people that I had sent over to serve. If we were talking earlier about the characters, there's really 5 main characters in the book. They're all linguists. In one of them's an actual interpreter, and the other ones are linguists who are trained in interpretation. They're in 2 different programs. The real interpreter is from the program that I designed, and then the other 4 joined the Army through a program called Military Accessions Vital to National Interest, where they recruited people who were temporary visas, like they were students or on other visas that were here temporarily. And what I wanted to show was the difference between the 2 programs and there were security issues between the two as well. Our program, they had to go through a counterintelligence screening before they were allowed to go into basic training. So everybody was screened in person to determine whether they were a threat or not. Because you got to remember, we're recruiting people that were born and raised in a foreign country.
Right.
They're here on a green card trying to become a citizen, but they never had that in-depth discussion with someone to find out what their real leanings were. The other program did not do that. So they recruited people with no counterintelligence screening, and they relied on their honesty that they were not a threat. And I always thought that was not the best idea. So the antagonist in the book is from that program. And I tried to paint a picture of what could happen. Not that it did. I don't know of any people that were in this position, but it's a fact. So I had to have an antagonist, and that was the best choice I could come up with.
Right. I thought I remembered hearing that there were some interpreters that were foreign nationals that, were interpreters that they turned on the people that they were helping. Let's just put it that way. I think I remember hearing something of that back in the day, but I can't remember.
Well, there was a group of soldiers in basic training with my group that were brought up on charges, and some of them were kicked out, and a couple of them were allowed to stay. And they had threatened to do things that they couldn't do, but they still communicated a threat, and so we dealt with them and took care of them.
So I didn't ask this earlier, but what was your rank when you retired?
I retired as a lieutenant colonel, once passed over for colonel.
Once passed over for colonel.
And I wasn't about to get it the second time.
Oh man. You must have done something.
I ended up on active duty in the active duty reserve, AGR, active guard and reserve, was my last bit in my active duty years. And I had a 1 block from a general officer for my duty performance, but I was being judged in the reserve, so I didn't complete some security seminar that I didn't even know about, and so I got passed over for promotion. And my general officer was so livid about it that he called the chief of the Army Reserve, and they set me up an appointment to speak with the promotion people and the leadership people. I went over there, and the colonel that I talked to was like, "Well, it's obvious why you didn't get promoted." And I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" And he said, "No, but you can do it, and then you'll get picked up the next time." And I said, "Yeah, but that window is already closed, so I get passed over again." He says, "Yeah, but the next year." I said, "I'm not going to be a 2-time passover. That's just not. I couldn't do it."
Right.
The people that got passed over 2 times that I knew probably should have never picked up on the next list. So I had enough.
Yeah,
So
we had
it obvious that what did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah, you said it was.
I retired.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, no, she's saying, when he said it was obvious why you didn't get promoted, she's asking because he missed the security seminar. That's why he didn't get promoted the first time.
Just because you missed a seminar?
Oh yeah. And there was a couple different things that you had to do in addition to your evaluation reports. And I could have picked either one of them, but the easiest one was the security seminar. And he says, "That's what people all do." It's like, my personnel officer never told me, never said a word that was a requirement. And that's like, if that's the way the reserves play, I don't want to be part of it.
Right.
If your duty performance is not the most important thing, and when that general officer gave me a top block, he bypassed a lot of active Army officers to give me that top block. So it was really, really special and to me. And that I don't need to be there anymore.
Right. And that happens quite a bit once you get up into your senior ranks.
Yep.
So like your staff NCOs, and then you're going from lieutenant colonel to colonel, and then going from there. Once you get passed over for a promotion, it's kind of like a black mark on your record. And like you said, you didn't want to be a 2-time passover, so that's why you went ahead and took the retirement. Because I know a lot of like senior staff NCOs that here they are, first sergeants, and they're wanting to go to the next rank and get passed over, and they're like, well, it's time for me to get out. So that's crazy. But
Well, the thing was when I put the paperwork in, I knew it was the right decision because I felt good about it.
Yeah.
So it was time.
Yeah. Once it's time and you felt good about it, then it probably was the right moment for you to get out. Now, when you retired from the military, what did your wife think of that when you retired?
Well, she thought it was great. It's like, well, you're going to be home. You're not going to go anywhere. And because I tried to deploy for years, and it was just never in the cards. I had 2 positions that I thought I was a lock to go to. And one of them, my assignments officer filled it instead of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then another one, it was the good old boy system in the reserves. Somebody called in after I already been put in the slot, and I was just waiting on my orders to deploy, and they contacted me and said, well, we're sorry, but somebody else is going to be taking that position. It's like, I was already in it, but it just wasn't meant to be.
So the People's Patriot Project says, hi guys, hi Frank. I will vouch for his amazing book. So either that's Mark or Andrea or Jonathan. I don't know which one it is, but one of those 3 just wrote that comment.
I know Andrea read it.
Yeah.
She had a copy and she enjoyed it.
That is Saint Andrea, by the way.
So it's Andrea.
Sorry, I didn't see it before I spoke.
Oh, so the past 2 years, writing books is not the only thing you've been doing. I know that you've been scooping poop in the yard. That's one thing you've been doing. What else have you been doing over this past 2 years? What are you involved in?
Well, I'm working on another book with Donald Dunn right now, for a mother of a fallen Marine, and we're trying to put a book together in honor of him. It's been kind of difficult because there's a lot of missing parts. We have to rely on input from other people, interviews and other things. So it's been a little difficult to write that one. I also write articles for Rep Online. They have an online magazine, and I write articles for the Writer Scroll that Donald also manages. We have a quarterly publication that comes out, and we write a couple articles each quarter and have them in there. They're pretty good. And other than that, I got back into running and weightlifting again. So
yeah,
I'm running the Army 10 miler in October.
So when you say there's parts missing, and then you have to rely on like interviews and stuff like that. Is that parts that you need to get like from the military, from the Marine Corps, or
It's really, we're at the point now where we spoke with some people that he had served with, so we've got a pretty good handle on the basics of what to write for the military action. The part we're in now is post military. You see, he had some very serious injuries,
oh, okay.
and he didn't pass immediately from his injuries. He passed years later, and we're trying to find a way to cover that time period and do it justice, so we can pay tribute to him throughout the end.
No, that makes sense. I was just wondering because I know some people that um, are no longer in the Marine Corps, but they're still closely affiliated with the Marine Corps. And
Yeah.
if it was like, records, some kind of records or something like that, I was going to see if I could get you and connected with them too.
Yeah, I think we're okay, but I'm just helping. Donald's the driving force on this thing, and
Okay. Okay. So you said earlier that it was easy to write a book.
oh yeah,
So like somebody like me, I served from 97 to 01, got out right before 9/11. I was on terminal leave. 9/11 happened. We were the first time the Marine Corps ever activated the individual ready reserves. And I got sent back to Camp Lejeune for combat refresher training. They put us with the mobilization support battalion there. And then, I got out in 2004, and I've been in the veteran charity side of things since 2004, whether I was volunteering or on boards. And I always thought about writing a book about my military experience.
Write it in crayon.
Shut your pie hole. I'm not going to write it in crayon.
You should. It'd be great.
It would be write a kid's book in crayon.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can write kids' books. It'd be just like
every veteran has a story.
Well,
Yeah.
read it.
My true belief is that every veteran has a story, and most of them would like to tell it. Luckily, there's a person that I met on LinkedIn that is running a program for veterans to find a way to write their book. And I don't have that link with me, but I can give it to you and send it to you, and you can advertise it around. Because the funny thing is, people think that, oh, well, why are you telling everybody to write a book? It's just, there's no competition. It's not like if someone else writes a book, it's going to affect my book.
Right.
It's everybody should be doing something. I mean, if you got a story, tell it.
Story should be told.
Is that Dawn Dunn that's helping you with Words for Warriors?
Yes.
Okay, so Donald Dunn, it's Words for Warriors is the organization. I thought that's who you were talking about.
Yep.
So I can get that.
And the Warrior Scroll is the quarterly publication that we do.
I feel like between that and there's probably something on Cav Arts. And if there's not, there should be.
So, I will talk with the team from Cav Arts. I don't know, Frank, if you know what Cav Arts is. Cav Arts is part of Challenge America. They have a program called Cav Arts. It's Veterans and Arts. So it's Challenge America Veterans and Arts program. And on their, it's a social media platform. They have Tandy Leather, like a veteran that has teaches people how to do leather. Guitars for vets.
It's almost like getting on like a Facebook page, and they have different, like you have friends on Facebook, they have different things where it's the leather making or music making, and Willis is bringing in podcast making. Like, it's all these different types of arts, and it's by veterans for veterans. And so, like, I feel like if there's not, there should be something for writing and authors. Like they do painting courses where other veterans that get on there and they'll give, whether it's an hour-long course on teaching you how to do something, or it could be, you know, a few weeks, but it's like an hour a week that you get on and you're taking this course. Learning how to play the guitar. There's so many different things that are on CAV Art. It's really cool. It's really awesome.
It is. Is this one it? Is the on Facebook? Is it the Words for Warriors with the yellow ribbon? Is that the page? I think it is.
I think so.
So you were saying earlier that people that knew you were surprised you wrote a book. And when I asked you what you've been doing for the past 2 years, other than writing books, it was writing other things, articles.
Oh yeah.
So somebody
I write.
But for somebody that people didn't see as a writer, what got you into doing this, into writing so much? What kind of drew you to that?
Well, you know, I know it's hard to tell, but I'm getting old.
No, not you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just started out in Medicare, so that's another story. My God, what a mess. But anyways, I've had a lot of my classmates who are younger than me pass away.
Mm.
And the thought of existing for 60 plus years and not having anything that people can remember you by is alarming to me. And so I thought about a lot of different things. And like you said earlier, I play music, but I don't play well enough to make music, not record. I wouldn't do that to anybody. But writing is different, and I can write, and I write well, and I write well enough to get my point across. So it was easy to come up with writing as a follow-on to what I had done before. Because when you write a book, it doesn't matter how many you sell. You'd like to make enough to break even. But if you don't, what you have is you have a result of your work that will carry on long after you're gone. So what interests me is that, 30, 40, 50 years from now, someone might be leafing through a catalog or a library bookshelf and say, oh, this looks like it might be interesting, and pick it up and read it and like it. And the thing that's impressed me so far with what I've done with the book, I've had reviews that are all pretty good. I've only had 2 that were less than, or 3 stars or less. And one individual on Goodreads, she won. I gave away 100 electronic versions of the book in Goodreads, and she won one of them. And she read it, and she provided a review, and she gave it 5 stars. And she said, I don't read this genre of books. And I hesitated to sign up for the giveaway. But she said, after reading it, I've changed my mind, and I'm now interested in reading these types of books. And she talked about how fast-paced it was and how it was easy to understand and read. And, that makes an old guy tear up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did that. And
so
I'm so proud.
I'm gonna read a couple of the reviews that are on the website here. A gripping, fast-paced read. It is hard to put down. You get pulled into the lives of the soldiers and what they are going through. This book has become my next great read. R. Williams, Army veteran. So that's one. Then you got, this fast-paced novel provides a grateful and needed departure from the well-worn modern soldier themes lining today's virtual shelves.
That's Thomas Loper, president of Precision Defense Consulting. And then this one here, as a former first sergeant who worked closely with 09Ls, I'm assuming that's the MOS for interpreter. It brought back a lot of memories about the day-to-day environment at a unit, about interactions between soldiers, and about getting ready to deploy. And that's Scott Brockall, Army veteran. So far, everything looks like, you've got some great reviews and stuff like that. So I think that's super amazing, Candace.
I don't need to make a boatload of money. I don't need to. People talk to me about making a movie, and it's like, I just want to write. The hardest thing, believe it or not, writing is easy for me. I don't have any issue. I can write 2 or 3 books a year. The hard part comes after you write the book, and it just drags you down, and the marketing and trying to push it. And the podcasts are different. I enjoy the podcast, but I don't like doing the business end. I just don't. And the good thing is, this publisher that I'm trying to work with, publishing my next book won't cost me a dime. They cover the entire charge for publishing, and I guess the bad part is they take 50% of the profit, but that puts skin in the game for them. They need to find a way to market it and make it prosperous, or else,
right.
50% of nothing's nothing.
I feel like you start a blog. Like, with you loving to write now, and like maybe it's not a book, but just something that people can follow, and like just your thoughts of when they pop up. And
well, I have a blog on Goodreads.
Okay.
And I had several entries, and then after a couple months with nobody showing any interest or commenting, I just kind of I've got other things I can write.
Yeah. It's almost something like you want to build a following for that, though.
Well, I have a web page, frankdemithauthor.com.
Yeah, I shared that earlier in chat. Yeah, I shared that in chat.
That has the information about the current book. I also have a Facebook page, Frank Demith -author, and that's my Facebook page. And on there, I talk all about the book, what the themes are in it, and I also talk about the upcoming book and what that is, and how it's coming along. And I want to do some advanced reading copies, but I don't know the new publisher. I don't know much about. I have to send the manuscript, and then they send me a contract. So I don't really know a lot of particulars about how they're going to do things.
Night, Sam. Have a great night, buddy.
Have you decided on? Did you decide on a name for the second one?
Yeah, it's called Defending the Eagle.
Okay, so that's what people need to watch for on that second one. Defending the Eagle.
And anybody who spent any time on active duty will appreciate this book, the second one.
Heck yeah.
Everybody that's been on active duty, or even reservists, have had leaders that were not good. There's always a leader along the way that you look at and you say, my God, that guy, he couldn't lead his way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
Well, there's one of those in this next book.
Like, I feel like everybody that's watching that is a veteran or that has served thought of somebody in their mind, at least one.
Absolutely.
If not more.
I mean, it popped right in my head.
Well, and the thing about when I write characters, it's not just one person. So there isn't anybody that can look at my books and say, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
It's not, because there's other stuff. One part of it might be them.
Yeah.
But all my characters are developed from combinations of individuals. And I have to do it that way because I don't want any one person in there.
Right.
There is one exception. There's a person in the first book I named after somebody I went to school with, who was one of my best friends who passed away a couple of years ago. So I use his name, but that's just in tribute to him.
Yeah.
But even the bad person in the second book, it's not one person. It's several people put
Combined
together.
into one. Combined into one. Yeah, when you said that about having great leaders and bad leaders, the first person that popped in my mind was a butter bar that we just got fresh to the unit. And
I thought you were going to name names. I was like, oh.
No, I'm not going to name names. Butter bar that just got to the unit. If Sam was on here, he would remember this story. We were out doing land nav, and we were doing a company evolution. And we were supposed to attack an objective. He had a handheld GPS unit that he plotted coordinates into, and we were marching towards said destination, but we were 5 miles off course because he plotted the wrong coordinates in his handheld GPS. You're talking about, we were so livid with this guy. He definitely had a good nickname after that.
Yeah. Well, you'll find a part in the first book about a second lieutenant and a senior NCO, and you'll appreciate it.
All right, nice. I'm gonna love it. Yeah, I can't wait to read your next book. I can't wait to sit down and read this one. Now that life has kind of calmed down a little bit on my end,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to read this.
Well, I don't hold anything against you, man. You got more stuff going on now than most people even realize.
Yeah, but I think
I'm gonna get my copy because he's holding it hostage. Don't color in my book.
Listen, Linda, I'm not holding your copy hostage. If you actually show up and host it beside me, you would get your stuff.
Don't color in my book.
I want to give a shout out to Christy or Mr. Jeff. Jeff Newton had just jumped on. So hey, what's up, Jeff? But no, I since everything's said and done with what's going on with me right now, I think I got some time to relax a little bit. I do have teenagers, and I have a buttload of doctor's appointments coming up, and knee replacement in October. So I'm definitely going to be able to do some reading coming up, because I'll be able to sit back, relax a little bit, and focus on my mental health. Because right now, I honestly, I need some focusing on my mental health. And so
remember that, everybody. Come October, Willis is having his knee replaced. So Homefront is accepting donations of crayons of all shapes, sizes, and colors, coloring books, plain sheets of paper, construction paper, kid-proof scissors, and glue sticks.
No sippy cup?
You need a helmet? I got him a sippy cup. It's a princess one.
Yeah, it's over there. Here, well, I ain't even getting it. It's way over there.
Get it.
No, it's way over there.
It's pretty and pink.
It is pretty and pink.
Sparkly.
Yeah, it's not back there. I do have my mug back there, but
only real men can drink out of a pink sippy cup.
That's right. That's right. Real men wear pink. I got a couple pink shirts upstairs, and I usually wear those. No glue sticks. Mike Snellen says no glue sticks. He'll eat them. I don't know if I'll eat some glue. I don't know about that.
They make it colored now. They have pink glue sticks. Purple ones too.
So I did put the link for the Amazon if people wanted to go buy the book. The link for the Amazon link is right there, so you can click on. And then if you have a Barnes and Noble, I believe it's Barnes and Noble, they can buy it. Yeah,
there's Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, about 12 other ones. If you go into your browser and you just put in a vital interest, and Frank Demith, it'll pop up a bunch of different places to buy it at.
Let's see. I didn't see it. Was it on the
And
website? Is it on your website too?
there's a link on my website that takes you to Amazon. I change it up every few months and drop it into another source. But if anybody out there wants a signed copy, they can go to my webpage, and my email address is on there at the very bottom of the webpage. It says contact Frank. They send me a message. We'll work it out, and I'll get them a signed copy.
So what you could do is buy the book, and if you want a signed copy, you can hook up with Mr. Frank here, and he'll sign a copy for you.
Well, I have books here that I use at book signings, and I'd be happy to send them one of those.
Nice. There you
Well,
go. So
what do you do? Can they like Venmo, Cash App, something, and buy the book from
Yeah,
you?
they can do Venmo, PayPal.
Cool beans. Okay.
let's see. I'm gonna throw his email in chat as well. So are you doing any book tours or anything like that? Do you have any dates coming up for a book tour?
Well, that's the one of the disadvantages with the publisher I have now, because all the book signings I've done have been through my own work.
Okay.
And I don't blame them. I mean, they have very well-known people that have written books under their umbrella, and they get a lot of the attention. So most of my book signings have been right here in the West Virginia National Capital Region area. So I'd love to go somewhere else. I mean, I'm retired. Heck,
So you're
Kentucky.
you're an Army guy. How about doing like a book signing on Fort Knox?
Mhm.
well, I'd go anywhere. I just don't know how to get around to make it happen. I honestly don't know who to contact or where to go. I'd love to do one at the PX. I'd love to
I feel
go
like
to
we might
different
have a
posts.
few people we could talk to.
Yeah, well, I'd be
I'm
happy to talk to anybody.
I'm thinking what we could do, even like a American Legion or
Oh yeah.
or VFW or something like that. I'm thinking of maybe ways to get you in Kentucky so you can have, you could do a couple book signings here.
Yeah, I was
People-
gonna say like, we go a couple of different places.
yeah, Fort
One of the
Knox would be a
problems
really
with
good one.
Yeah, one of the problems with the way my book was published, it's what they call print on demand. So they have to have an order in order to print the book.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the bookstores won't carry it because they don't stock print on demand books. They stock books that are published traditionally, where you have a first printing, second printing, third printing, and each printing has maybe 2,000 or 2,500 copies, and they get a number of those and put them on their shelf. But companies like where I publish through, they don't have that tie-in. They don't have books on shelves.
Well, that's kind of silly that they wouldn't take books on demand.
I have a Books A Million that's about 3 miles from my house, and I've been in there several times. And every time I talk to the manager, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna find a way. It's like, no, they won't do it. I'm telling you, they go through a centralized distribution center,
Okay.
and unless you have a regularly printed book, it doesn't get to that distribution center.
So what about other small bookstores, ones that aren't like
Oh
Books
yeah, the individually owned bookstores. There's one in downtown here, and they have 3 copies of my book right now. But they can't take a large number.
Sure.
Right.
So I give them 2 or 3, and then when they run out, they let me know, and I bring another couple in there. But the cost to publish a book is extravagant.
Oh, I guarantee it.
I'd have to sell around 4,000 books to break even. And what they don't tell you when you sign up is that the average book on the market from unknown writers sells about 250 to 300 books. And that's it.
Well, that's why we have to make you a very well-known writer.
Well, show me where to go, what to do, where to sign. I'm all over it.
Well, we're gonna get you connected with all these other veteran podcasts. I'm gonna talk. So on Wednesday, we have our Tip of the Spear Veterans Roundtable, which is roughly 10 to 15 different podcasts that is on that. So I'm gonna talk about your book and bring it up on there tomorrow or Wednesday. Actually, it's Wednesday night. Tomorrow we have Betsy Ross coming on, who is another author. She wrote the Fight series. So I'd like to get you and her connected too. That way you and her can possibly exchange ideas on publishers and all that good jazz. And then Dexter Pitts. He wrote a book called I Am Pitts. He's a Army veteran / police officer in our local area. So we got a lot of people we can get you connected with when it comes to other veteran podcasts and other veteran authors and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that we do when we don't have when we bring veterans in, we get them connected with other people that are in their field. Like you're an author, so we get you connected with other authors and other podcasters as well. So we're definitely going to make that happen.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, you're very, very welcome. So is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to touch on? Anything of the sort?
Not really, but I always leave when I do a podcast talking about purpose and veterans. And veterans are some of the most special people in our country. They stood up. They gave a blank check for everything, including their life, and went off and served and did it without any complaint or issues, and came back home. And thank God that right now they're being treated a lot better than they were when I first joined the Army. But what we got to remember is the suicide rate in veterans is not an individual problem. That's our problem. That's our group problem. And it's never going to get resolved and better until the whole community starts getting interested in it and working to make it better.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing I tell people that are on a course that they don't want to be on is find your purpose. If everybody finds their purpose, they can't find a way to take their life, because their purpose is their life. And my purpose now is to educate the people in this country about the military and what people go through. And when I'm done doing that, then I'll find something else.
Yeah, that's kind of like Candace and I. Like, our mission has always been that one veteran at a time. That's has always been a mission of mine. Is if I reach that one veteran today, then I completed my mission. And
well, see, that's the problem with the VA. You can't have a big program. You can't have a big program that's going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
You got to do one person at a time and save us one at a time. And these big umbrella programs that they have, they're just spending money.
Yeah, wasting money and
yeah,
not solving the problem, because unfortunately they say 17 or 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And then recently I seen a number where it said 17. But if you look into that study of how they did that study and that survey, they only do like 6 states, and they only do like 22% of veterans.
Yeah.
So and only are within the VA.
Within those states.
Yeah.
So the numbers are skewed big time.
So I don't trust those numbers. I think it's more like 44 veterans a day commit suicide. Um, I don't even want to say a name, but just recently, a female veteran that I know lost her battle with her demons. Um, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well,
And
and the other thing, and I'm so sorry for the loss of the person that you know, but a lot of times we look at it after it happens and we say, "Oh, yeah, I saw that." Well, oh, we need to jump in. Sometimes we're afraid to address people about their issues
yeah,
because we're concerned about what they think or how they're going to react.
yeah,
And we can't do that. We gotta attack it just like we would a military objective. This is your objective. This is where you gotta go. You're gonna get there no matter what it takes or how you have to fight or what the losses are to get there. And so
yeah.
if you lose someone as a friend, but you hit the objective and they don't commit suicide, you won.
Yep.
And someday down the road, that person will realize that what you did was for their benefit, and things will work out. But we can't hold back. We have to go full bore and find a way to help people and make them get help.
No, I agree with you 100% there. Uh, and we always say here on the show, if you go up to any human, it don't matter who they are, and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" and then you just move on, you have to ask that next hard question, because you can look at people's demeanor, you can look in their eyes, and know something's going on. That's why you have to ask that next hard question. Hey, how are you really doing? But you also have to be prepared, because that could be a 15-minute conversation. It could be a 3-hour conversation,
Yeah.
but you have to be ready for that conversation. And unfortunately, a lot of humans nowadays don't really care. They're going to say, "Hey, how you doing?" and they're going to keep on walking. So you have to be ready for that next hard question, and you have to be ready to sit there and talk with that veteran or that human about what's going on in their life, because sometimes that's all people need is an ear to listen to,
Yeah.
or for an ear to speak to. So they just need somebody to listen to them. And unfortunately, people are too worried about themselves nowadays. So
Yeah. That's true.
it's definitely crazy. But Frank, I can't wait to dive into this book, and read it. And then I can't wait to see your next book when it's ready to get published and ready to be out, because you already intrigued me, because you said there was a NCO and a butter bar, a second lieutenant. So I'm already intrigued because of the story that I told. So
There's something in there for everybody.
I love it. I love it. But it was our pleasure having you on tonight. I'm going to get you connected with everybody that I said we were going to get you connected with, and we're going to try to get you on more podcasts to talk about your book of vital interests. Um, but other than that, man, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us, sir.
Yes,
God
thank
bless you both.
God bless you. You have a good night. Tell the wife, thank you for allowing you to come on and hang out with us for a little while.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Bye. How cool was that, Miss Candace?
He's a cool dude. I can't
He,
wait to read that book.
I know, right? I got your copy sitting right over there, on the couch, so you can come over and crawl up in the couch and read your copy of it and take it back home with you. But we were just speaking of asking that next hard question. Let's see. So 988 star one if you're a veteran, 988 if you're not a veteran. You can if you're not a veteran, you can reach out to them. You can text them, you can call them, you can go online and chat with them online. 988 star one if you're a veteran, or pound one. What I think it's pound one star one, whatever the heck it is.
Well, and
But
even if there's somebody that's calling because of a veteran, like, just because you don't know, they're not going to call, but they need something.
yep. So let's play that commercial, Candace.
Yep.
I've said everything this week
Yeah.
that was written on that board. I've said every one of those this week. Every one of them.
I
Knowing,
think no, it's a damn lie.
knowing it's a damn lie that I'm not okay, and my wife, she knows me, and there's a lot of backstory with my stepdad. A lot of backstory, and the funeral day when we were putting him in the mausoleum, uh, my sister, her son, who's in the army, who's deployed right now to Louisiana, who's getting ready to go to Iraq or somewhere over there. He didn't really go into detail. His friends sent flowers, and it said TT chat because he does a lot on TikTok, and his friends on TikTok sent the flowers to the funeral home. My sister had picked those flyers up and took them to her car because they were for my nephew. They were his friends sent them, right? When we were putting my dad and my stepdad into the mausoleum, his sister, who has taken control of everything, started cussing at my sister because my sister took those flyers. And I almost lost my shit that day.
I don't know how you didn't. Like, and the more like the other things that you and I have talked about, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you didn't.
My wife was my rock, and she kept me calm. And then I walked off with my sister, and my sister said, "Don't worry about it." So I was like, "Okay."
Did you keep those flowers?
Yes, my
Good.
sister kept those flyers.
Good.
And then, it's just
Yeah,
my
I
wife.
think it's one of those things we talk about that, and we talk about asking that next hard question, and we talk about seeing it in somebody's eyes, and like I hate it because like Frank is such a good dude, but I think everybody that normally watches us and sees us and knows us like can look at both of us right now and be like, yeah, they're not like. We'll be back. We will. We'll be back. You'll be back.
No,
Back. Well, like we got this.
yeah, we're but we gotta continue the mission, and that's something that I learned a long time ago in the Marine Corps. We got to continue the mission, and
Yeah.
I love having Frank on here and talking about his book, and we do have another episode scheduled with Frank in October, closer. All right,
So
Frank.
hoping
Wish
that
you,
book is
wish you
out by then.
hopefully the new book is out by then. Uh, I'm super excited about it, and then we can, hopefully we can have a copy of it. We can read it. And my wife just joined. Welcome, my babe. She just joined. But yeah, so I'm excited to have him back on. And it's just one of those things. We got to continue the mission, regardless of
For sure.
what's going on in our personal life. I don't bring that up on the stage just because but I want people to understand that what we're going through, in our personal lives, sometimes they need to understand that thing.
Well, they
Uh,
have to understand sometimes that we're human too.
yes. And then, so Homefront Sit Rep, Homefront Sit Rep has a segment called Ask Monica. So if you are applying for your VA disability, or if you are wanting a second opinion of your disability denial or your disability claim, whatever, Homefront Sit Rep has a segment with Monica Sanford of the Monica Sanford Show. You can email her at askmonica0@gmail.com. You know what? She just won an award too. Miss
Is she?
Monica. She won the 2024 Nurse Practitioner of the Year
Yay! Go her.
Cool. So Monica Sanford, little rundown on her. She's a doctorate of nursing. So she's a nurse practitioner. She's a cardiologist, and she does all kinds of crazy stuff. She's a badass.
But her biggest accomplishment is
She's married to a Marine for 35 plus years,
yes.
who was a lieutenant colonel. So 35 plus years, who was a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps. My wife is, see the comment what Julie just put up?
That's what made me go.
Yeah.
We're
So
not trying to cry this episode, Julie. We've held our shit together for
dude,
almost an hour and a half.
I almost did just a
I
second.
know.
But yeah, you can reach out to Ask Monica at askmonica0@gmail.com. Let's play that commercial real quick. My wife is a saint. If you don't know my wife, she is a saint. She puts up with all my bullshit on a day-to-day basis.
Poor Julie.
She is amazing. I love my wife to death, and she's amazing. But she is a saint because she puts up with my crap every day. Some days are better than others.
Marines are hard.
We are hard. But yeah, so you can reach out to Ask Monica or hashtag. You can actually go on Twitter and all that, hashtag Ask Monica, or you can email her at askmonica0@gmail.com. And like we stated at the beginning of the show, don't lie. You're going to get caught. It happens. Especially if you're in the public eye, you will get caught. So don't lie. Just be honest. Yes, we all want that 100%, but there's ways of doing that, getting that 100% without lying about it.
I love you, Julie. And no, don't forget about those calves. We know you love the calves.
She always says she don't like my calves.
Bullshit. I remember, look, I'm going to point out there was a day, like, I'm trying not to hold up what's in my hand. I've been playing with it the whole time, but there was a day you were cooking on your Blackstone, and she was like, look at those cats. Like, she was in love. She fell in love all over again. That's what you got to do. Just pull out the grill, put on some shorts. If you ever feel like you're not being loved by your wife.
What'd she say?
Anyway.
You know what? I'm in the mood for some I'm America. What about you?
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
All
right, so I'm gonna play a video, guys. Mr. Scotty Hastings. He's an Army veteran, Purple Heart recipient. He was shot 10 times in Afghanistan, and he just had his debut on the Grand Ole Opry. The song that I'm playing is called I'm America. He has another song that he sung at the Grand Ole Opry called How Do You Choose?
Yeah, we're not playing that tonight.
We're not playing that one tonight because
we don't. Neither one of us can deal with that one tonight.
Yeah,
wonderful, beautiful song. But
yes,
go listen to it somewhere else tonight.
And I will tell you to have your tissues ready because it is about survivor's guilt. So just be ready for your tissues on that one. But anyway, let's play I'm America by Scotty Hastings.
I'm the river, I'm the rain, the lonesome whistle of a train. I'm the amber waves of grain. I'm the highway, I'm the farm, fertile fields and boulevards, the just over your heart. Oh, I'm the echo of the bell that's ringing. Oh, I'm the freedom in the song we're singing. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. Dance, the open window to a chance, the place where courage takes a stand. All the colors that you see, the lights from 30,000 feet. Yeah, I'm the roar of victory. Oh, I'm the echo of the bell that's ringing. Oh, I'm the freedom in the song we're singing. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. I'm America. I'm the fathers, I'm the sons. I'm the footprints in the mud. I'm a shelter washed in blood. I'm the seed that's in the dust. I'm the prayer in God we trust. A place to dream for all of us. I'm America. I'm America. I'm America. I'm America.
I don't know what that was.
You know what's crazy to me is that man 5 years ago never thought he'd be singing nor playing a guitar.
Right, because he didn't think he was able to. With his hand, his injuries to his hand and stuff.
Just never thought about being a musician.
Yeah. And then he so happenly found an organization, and they taught him. How to play the guitar, and
And Gary,
now look at him.
like finding Gary Sinise is kind of like
Yeah,
it almost made him determined 13 years ago.
yeah. And he's done amazing things. He signed with Black River Entertainment, and just had his debut on the Grand Ole Opry, the 30th anniversary of Forrest Gump. Lieutenant Dan invited him down to Nashville to play at the Grand Ole Opry, and he's taking off like wildfire. And if he comes close enough to Kentucky where we can go, I have to wear a UAK jersey to that show for him, and nothing underneath of it, and that's going to probably make my skin bull. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Get over it at the concert.
Yeah. I'll have press passes too, so we can go backstage and meet him and stuff in person. I think that would be super, super cool. But anyway, we had a great guest on tonight, Mr. Frank Demith of Vital Interest. He wrote a book. This is a fact-based fiction book. So it's fact-based fiction. Names have been changed. Not all of it, and there's multiple, like the characters, it's multiple people into one character. So that's why it's fact-based fiction. You can go on Amazon, you can order it, or you can reach out to him at his email if you want a signed copy. Email is there's his email there. It's in chat as well. You can email him, say, hey, I want a signed copy of your book. You Venmo him, write him a check, whatever. And he will mail you a signed copy of his book. He does have another book that's in the works, and I think he's working on book number 3 as well. So super
And
cool.
another Donald Dunn.
Yes, and then he's working on one with Donald Dunn about a fallen Marine that lost his battle well after his service, but
Still.
But yeah, definitely. But anyway, Candace, it's that time of night, my friend.
It is.
Take us out.
All right, you guys. Like we always say, stay safe out there. We got your 6.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.